Ladies and gents, this is a big series here. This is the final series for Margougou in this group. Margougou's got 5 wins right now, and he's up against Dogao, who sits at 6. Now, Dogao has this series, but then he also has what will be the final series of group stage right after this. So we get potential 6 wins on the board for Dogao, who wants to close up or close in on ACCM, who's in first place. Sky is really the limit for Dogao. He's going to be the favorite in this series, and he's also going to be the favorite in the next series. He could actually steal first place from ACCM. Could also fall in the second or third place, or could also be relegated if he's not getting wins. It's 6 wins for Dogao, but it's 5 for Margougou. And then the final round is Dogao versus Draken, where Draken's sitting at 4. So will Draken be able to stay up in Platinum again? Will Margougou make it to playoffs, perhaps? Will Dogao get to playoffs? All these things happening all within the last 6 games. So I hope you're ready. We've got the Magyars for Margougou, and Margougou is going to be ready to pounce with scouts, I'm sure, in Feudal. And then we have the Incas for Dogao. A bit of a surprise to me. Also, a bit against what we've seen from him in the past. He had picked Chinese in the past. He had Chinese in his draft here, chose not to go for it. So not going for a civilization that can go for the scouts, which we often see. Map is very open, so being up against aggressive Margougou, who will have lots of scouts, would be really difficult for me if I were Incas. But the Inca economy is really good. Very flexible bonuses to work with. Could eventually go monks and pikes against Magyars. And I think that the hope for Margougou is that he's going to at least maintain control the whole time. It's like one woodline overchop, one misclick, and then Margougou's scouts could kill quite a few vills. So very open map for both players here. Lots to wall if you were to wall. It'll be small walls, though, as the choice. And, gold positions, I guess, are really important for Dogao, but there's gold everywhere on this map. So it's going to be completely fine. Stones on the back, golds around, wood lines around. Just, you can't full wall this map. That's the thing, right? And there's always going to be a tendency, I think, when you're up against players who are making scouts to try and keep yourself protected. But this isn't Vivi, guys. Vivi's gone now from Platinum. Goodbye, Vivi. So we're not going to see any full walls whatsoever. Like, maybe Margougou walls this way, actually. Maybe. But the very first thing on his mind should be fast scout rush. And we'll probably see him move forward to scout Dogao in a bit. So early barracks for Dogao. Now, I think Dogao is possibly expecting Lithuanians here. I don't know if Incas are better or worse against Lithuanians, but I was thinking Lithuanians would be the choice for Margougou because of all the relics on the map. It's a scout rush map, and then if you get relics, your knights are very strong. But then hindsight tells us, now that we've seen this, he picked Lithuanians first. His home map is Socotra. Margougou loves to Vil war. You could see that being the plan. Dogao beat Veleza. He lost 2-1 to ACCM. And then I'm missing somebody in this group. Who am I forgetting about? ACCM, Veleza, Dogao. Oh, well, wait. No, I'm still missing somebody. I'm so stupid, guys. Help me out. Okay, so he beat Veleza 2-1. He lost 2 games versus ACCM, but he got 1. I'm missing a name. We got Margougou. We got Draken. Oh, Miguel, thank you. And then he 3-0'd Miguel. Sorry, Miguel. Sorry for forgetting you, buddy. But yeah, so that's how he has got to his 6 wins. So he's 3-0 to set, he's 2-1 to set, and he's 1-2 to set. And different calibers of players, but the fact that he was able to get 3 wins from his 2 sets against Veleza and, should steal that. I tried to. Doesn't work. But, yeah, against Veleza, ACCM is pretty good. I had predicted Dogao to be 3rd in this group. The fact that he could potentially get 2nd right now is really good for him. I think the difference would be, I forget who's who, but I think if you're 2nd in this group, you then would face Barrels in the playoffs. And if you're 3rd in this group, you would place freaking Andy. And then if you're 1st, you go to the quarters. So he could steal that from ACCM now. So Margougou hasn't scouted his opponent at all. He's going for the scout build. And Dogao's here with the eagle. Dogao, unfortunately, though, his eagle's going to be found here by the scout. He's going to probably just try and lure his opponent away. The thing that really makes the militia effective, though, is if you have the eagle with it. So the fast uptime from Margougou's done something here. The militia, though, will be here. And Margougou tries to get the quick walls down. And the militia are going to disrupt Margougou. But again, if there's no eagle, you shouldn't be losing a villager to this in most cases. Dogao with a little bit of early control after losing his eagle. Might be able to kill a villager here. Nope. See, and there's no eagle to block, right? That's the problem. Margougou quick walling. Margougou using his scout now. Margougou's villager will be fine. Even blocks there. And a little nasty, a little awkward. Idle time's high, but nice job, Margougou. Dogao picking Incas. It's just so slow, right? Like, I'm a little worried for the guy, but... And he's got an amazing skill set, and he knows what's coming. He's going to wall in this wood line. And he might go forward pretty quickly here with the spearman, archer, eagle. I think you'd need to have 2 spears to move out against the Magyars at this stage because the Magyar scouts, and here comes Margougou. Margougou has not found Dogao yet, but can you blame him? He wants to go for scouts. He pushed in the deer. His eco's looking great. Love the way he's thinking about walling. Like, not easy to execute walls on this map like we'd mentioned, but... I think now we might need to consider some skirmishers, though. This little army could be tough for him to deal with. And Dogao's not hesitating. He knows his army's slow, but that he's producing out of a barracks and a range right now, while Margougou is only producing out of the stable. So he feels like he could just wall up and stay safe, which he has done. Eventually there will be overchops. Actually, he's not too far away right now from overchopping the this tree here. Trying to click this tree. There we go. That has 50 wood on it as well. But yeah, for now he's okay. Dogao headed this direction. And he'll see the range. He'll see the house. Margougou will buy himself some time. Villagers on berries. Exposed for Dogao. He went forward with his army. He has no defense for this. This is Magyars, and that's a villager down already. Great find for Margougou. And that little wall off he's found has been so nice for him. Still could have some big issues against this army, though. This still isn't walled, and he's going to need skirms. But 4-1 KD for the underdog Margougou, who has chances to survive and stay in platinum. But not only that, go to the playoffs. And with how aggressive he is and how motivated he is, it really feels like he could definitely surprise somebody in the playoffs if he makes it there. I think Margougou's done a nice job here. He could hold this off, getting nice damage with the villagers. The skirmishers are here at a decent enough time. Dogao's archers, though, going for the villager. The spearmen are there to protect the archers. Micro is really difficult in this instance because you've got the skirms coming in as well. And nice blocking from Dogao. Now we're seeing that, like, combinational army pay off. But we're also seeing the weakness of it, too. Because now the archers are going to go down, and I think Margougou's going to end up being relatively okay. The eco's a little awkward for him right now. Lots of villagers on stragglers. Not really... He placed farms here. But all the villagers don't have a task, so I feel like the idle time's not great. The farming eco for Dogao's looking pretty good. And he has continually checked his woodline to rewall things. So, usually don't want to produce that many skirms in Margougou's position. A lot of players would just stop at like 3 or 4 if they want to go knights. But actually, the amount he's produced here is really nice. Still producing more scouts, just in case there's eagles. And Dogao getting fletching now with his archers, but we'll see the army from Margougou. Dogao has been a pro in our scene for a decade. The dude's insanely talented. He doesn't have quite as much speed as the next gen. I mean, he's fast, don't get me wrong. Like, if you want to see APM, I'm sure it's fine. But it's not like, it doesn't feel like a lot of that speed is utilized with the aggression as much. He uses a lot of that towards the economic approach. And man, oh man, this is going to be awkward. Like, the scout-skirm combination has so much more potential here, I feel. Especially if the scout-skirms are on the hill. And Dogao loses an archer. Margougou really producing a lot here. He's producing out of his stable, and his archer range all the time here. Snipes a spearman. 11 to 3 KD. This is kind of my thinking, is just like, I do not see a world where Mezzo, if you're not Aztecs anyways, is going to really fare all that well against all the scouts. And Margougou is going to kill the archers. He will kill the eagles. And how do you recover from this now? It's one archer, one eagle for Dogao. That's it. He obviously needs the tower, maybe get to Castle Age. There's the tower. Even that tower doesn't have the level of urgency I think he needs now. And Dogao, his woodline still exposed as well. It's just every engagement has been better for Margougou since the start of the game. And Margougou, they both killed a villager, but Margougou's going to kill another one here. Now, the downside for Margougou is the fact that he spent a lot more food. So he could be later to Castle Age, but look at this eco from him. Recognizing he'll be later to the next stage, sells his stone, buys... But we'll maybe buy some food. Just, can he get value from this army? And can Dogao stay alive? That's going to be another villager dead. That's a guarantee. Gets doinked down. Yet you just can't engage against this. Dang. Surprised that Dogao chose the Incas. I mean, I don't want to be too critical of the civ choice, because honestly, it might take away a little bit from Margougou and how insanely well he's executed here. But just to complete my thought, he played this map with Cav before. So to go Incas here, I mean, Incas have been buffed and whatnot, and they're looking pretty good in a lot of settings, but it did surprise me when I saw it. Remember, Dogao has 6 potential wins, but Draken will be extremely motivated. Margougou is extremely motivated. And Margougou... And live standings, if he could close this out here, based on a really good start in Feudal Age, would then be tied with Dogao. Now, Dogao making eagles out of 2 barracks. But he hasn't died yet. He's still in this game. The skirmishers and scouts can't find any other engagements. It'll be 3 barracks soon. The eagles could kill the skirms, kill the scouts. And next up, the thing you'd need to deal with, of course, would have to be the knights for the Magyars. Honestly, Margougou, instead of moving, I think if you just chill on both sides of the wood line and disrupt the wood economy, that might be better for you. He loves to move his army. At home, he is on stable number 2. I love the timings on upgrades, too. He's even queuing up more scouts. This is really good. But yeah, these skirms are being pretty effective here. There'll be only 5 eagles for Dogao when he hits Castle Age. And he's got about a 40-second window. Feels like Margougou is going to have enough time to back up. I think saving the skirms is ideal if you can, but obviously the scouts are more important. And there goes Dogao. Now, does he drop at second TC? Like, what's he thinking? He really needs to secure his base somehow. It's graveyards, though. It's normally all army. Right now, he goes Monastery at home for monks, which makes sense. And then he goes Eagle Warrior and Squires, so more speed, more strength on the Eagles as they try and chase down the skirms. Now, Dogao does not see the scouts here. This is a bit risky for Margougou, because if the Eagles were to dive through, he doesn't have the scouts to help. The scouts are actually headed to Dogao's base. Now, it's a risk-reward situation because he could kill villagers there, and I think it's worth it for him because the knights are enough to hold, and now he's in on the wood line, and the scouts getting the extra attack, getting more villager kills against Dogao. A lot more villager kills here against Dogao. It's now been 8 villagers Margougou's killed. And he can defend here with knights. It's the dream start to the series for Margougou. Wow. Dogao's screwed right now. He is completely screwed. He can't do anything offensively, and he's behind his eco. Like every timing that you would have wanted here, you found. You found timing with the scouts versus the drush and the villagers. You found timing with the skirms against the archers. You found timings against the scouts. Against villagers, against eagles. And you've now found timing against knights. I've said it before with Margougou, what the best players will do in this situation is they'll realize they found those timings and they add the second TC. They no longer try and force the issue. Now, you could still do it, and you could just win the game even more, but See, maybe with a couple conversions, Dogao can turn this around. And then maybe some mistakes could be made from Margougou. If I were to play TTL, what position do you think I would be in? I don't have the skill to make it to platinum. If I made it to gold, I probably would be fighting to stay alive. I think if I qualified for gold, I would have been in like 5th place and been relegated out of gold. Competition's really tough in gold. Players are amazing these days, and I've never even made it to gold, so... Best I can say is I beat gold players in all the practice games, and then wasn't able to get the job done in silver. Scouts from Margougou, love the fact he's made more of them. Goes in for the monks here. He's going to kill 1. He's going to kill 2. Makes it look easy. Saves the scouts. But again, TC number 2 needed to come up. It comes up now. And just every engagement is incredible for Margougou. And Dogao, if you're wondering what he should do differently, it's just eagles and monks. That's it. You just have to hope for a snowball. You can't really boom now because you're just so far behind. It has to be full army. And, I mean, you know, he doesn't have pikes. He doesn't have a big monk mass. It's just going to be really tricky. Every engagement he takes is going to be poor. Except for maybe here. I think Margougou might not like this one too much. But even still, it's like no attack upgrade for Dogao. No final armor. It's not like he's got that much. And then here, the knights are just massacring. Dogao will take that fight. And he's going to lose this fight against the units that Margougou has. And the GG's called. And Margougou takes the first win. We've got drama. This is awesome. Yeah, Dogao has 2 more games here. He's got the series against Draken. Yes, he's the favorite against Draken. But Margougou gets the first win. That was so good from him, guys. That was so good. If you didn't know Dogao's reputation, you didn't know Dogao's win rate, you didn't know what Dogao's accomplished in his career, you look at this and say Margougou's the better player. I favor this guy to win all 3 games. Very different maps coming up. But the Frenchman, Margougou, looking very sharp there. And remember, he played his series against ACCM earlier in the day. He played that series, took about hour and a half break because I casted the other series, and this is another live series. And again, it's like what we've seen have success on this map has been a whole lot of pressure and control through scouts. Margougou did that with Magyars. Didn't really love the pick from Dogao, at least based on what I've seen. But whatever he was going for there, just could not find the timings. And he's now down a game. All right, folks. So game 2, Migration. Dogao has Dravidians, which is a civilization that's just been spanking people on this map. Now, Margougou played his series against ACCM like 3 or 4 hours ago. And so I think he was so close to beating the Dravidians there. Granted, he was the Italians. But I think in his mind, there will be things that he will be focused on to change, right? And I felt what his issue was lack of map control in the middle. I think Japanese actually can do a better job at that than the Italians can, which is what he had before. So, I mean, that was a really close game. Like, he could have beaten ACCM 2-1 earlier today, then come in here and, you know, maybe he could beat Dogao 2-1. I don't know. But live standings, Dogao at 6 wins, Margougou at 6 wins, Draken at 4. We got 2 more games in this series. This would be the final 2 games for Margougou in the group stage. And then we have the Dogao Draken series, which will close out the group stage. It's a bit weird. I guess Margougou winning right now is really bad for Draken, right? Yeah, Draken would have wanted, for survival anyways, Dogao to 3-0 here. And then, you know, he would be under less pressure to get as many wins versus Dogao. Margougou is not safe with the win here because he would go up to 7 wins. But, you know, and Draken could still 3-0 Dogao. But I feel like Draken 3-0ing Dogao would be bonkers. I could see Draken getting 1 win. Getting 2 wins would be really tough. Getting 3 wins feels near impossible, but they're all top 24 players. Draken got a win against Leary, a win against Yo, 3 wins against MBL. Like, Draken never got swept in the previous season. All the results I just mentioned were from Season 2 Platinum when he stayed alive. So, I'm not going to sit here and act like Draken can't, like, pull off amazing results. Should be fast castle from both. Margougou did do a fast feudal galley play with the Italians. I think that's playing against the Japanese flexibility, though. I think he should just fish boom here. We'll do so now. I think we'll see the same from Dogao. And I was told earlier ACCM had beaten Dogao on migration, so I know Dogao played it before. I forget how many times Dogao has played migration at this point. But it was his home map pick. I'm assuming he's played it a couple times, and it's been around a long time. Dogao used to be known as one of the best water players. Still probably is one of the better water players out there. So he's very comfortable on hybrid situations and hybrid maps. If anything, though, I would say a player like Dogao, who's been around a while, would probably be more prone to playing heavy water instead of heavy land. Who are top American players? It feels like game is more popular outside the US. There's more American players than any other country for this game. That does not mean that we have an amazing pro scene, necessarily. I mean, we have a lot of 2K Plus players that no one ever knows because you guys don't pay attention to 2K Plus players. You just... Most tournaments, you guys probably just know the top 10 or top 16. With TTL, I've hopefully brought more awareness to people who are outside of that. But yeah, Daniel's the best USA player. The second best USA player is yours truly. There are some other players who are really solid, though. So, like the Bloodless is a good USA player. You've got Hassan, who used to be good back in the day, still plays from time to time. You got Ink, who's like kind of played back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. He still is around. You got Scotty, who's around. They're all pretty solid. But yeah, in terms of like ladder rankings and players competing in tournaments, it'd be Daniel way up top. And Daniel's going to be in the playoffs against Leary in a couple days. Let's go, baby. Going to be super tough matchup for Danny Boy, but he's really grown as a player. I'm proud of him. Now, fishing ships from both. The fast castle build that I was expecting. No, nothing too crazy to really call out at this point. Except for the fact they are kind of more towards the eastern side. Like the southeast. That is kind of notable. They're closer to each other then. Right? The fishing ships would be a bit closer, which means heavier water play could be nice. Hera's the best American player. North American, that is. Yeah, important distinction. Very important distinction. And there's another dock from Margougou. So again, more fishing ships expected. We'll see him click up the feudal age here shortly. We'll see the same for Dogao. It's just the food's got to come in for them. And then it's, are we seeing a barracks and a stable? Are we seeing all the wood invested into ships? Wow, Dogao's really clicking up. I guess it's not late. But 3 docks from both before they click up is a little uncommon. The Japanese have plenty of wood savings with their lumber camps. The Dravidians have the wood savings with their docks, giving them population space, but also they receive the plus 200 wood when they arrive to each age, which by the time they make it to Castle Age will be plus 400. Something that would be a little tricky for Dogao, if he were to screw it up here, is if he forgot the mill. Because you do need the mill for a market. He's making a transport, though. And I think that means he'll probably pull villagers to the middle. Both players will probably arrive here, which is a really awkward choke point. They could find each other, and if they find each other, it would be really strong. To have some scouts out there, possibly. Yeah, so Dogao's trying to make the barracks on the island, and if you've listened to me talk about this. It's always awkward to get the exact timing if you have to make the transport, make the barracks here. So if you ever see someone make the barracks on their island, obviously the barracks isn't helpful there, but you can have the barracks up already if you don't have to wait for the transport, and then you can instantly build a stable. So we're kind of seeing that. 16 fishing ships for Margougou? What? That is a new record. And Dogao's going to 14. There's a lot of fishing ships on the field then. But no barracks for Margougou. 18 fishing ships? Okay, I know what he's going to do. He's going to go full water play. I think his transport is going to be just so he can dock like over here maybe. Or over here or over here. 18. Okay, just canceled 2 of them. Oh my god. That's a lot of fish. He's clicked up to Castle Age first. And this is the middle control that the Dravidians have excelled with. Love how Dogao got Loom. Also love that mining camp if he wants to take stone later. So Dogao's making scouts, and he's going to be looking around to find Margougou. He won't know Margougou's over here necessarily, right? Margougou's transport is on the way. Margougou doesn't have Loom. I feel like this is just such a poor play. Week 5. He could lose his villagers. You got to get Loom. You got to know Dravidians are going to do this. I actually feel disrespected if players don't get Loom and they go to the middle, because I have talked with such passion about this for 2 straight months. It really shows that players just don't care about me. Disrespect. We'll see. I mean, I'm kind of joking, right? Because I think that he's not gonna. Oh god. Oh no. You're crazy, dude. What are you doing? What are you doing here? You're wild. You're a wild child, Margougou. If Dogao spots this, everything dies. Everything. All of it dead. What are you doing? What are you doing? No Loom. Are you crazy? This is horrible. This is just disastrous. Get your quick wall fingers out, because all your villagers are going to die. What are we doing? Week 5, Margougou. You need these wins, Margougou. Well, he just got punished hard. Dream scenario for Dogao on land. If Dogao can hold on water now, Dogao should have this game. And Margougou's going to struggle now. I mean, beyond my constant commentary where I've broke this down with great detail, I'm also one message away. Like, I play with these players. I talk drafts with players. I practice with players. Like, I just a big old brain fart, or maybe he didn't know. I don't know. Call him Scotty because he didn't know. That was brutal for Margougou. Now, you know, he has the 16 fishing ships, which is really, really nice. But he has to kill Dogao's fish now. And Dogao is protecting things very nicely. He's going to have demos and fires holding this choke. He's got a little push here. And then he's gone forward dock to pressure Margougou. So the key for Dogao, though, is he probably should make a TC in the middle. And then it feels like this step is complete for complete and utter domination here on migration, where Dogao has looked incredibly strong here, we have to say. On some level, of course, some frustration for me because I hold these players to such high standards, and the games have such importance for them, right? And Margougou is such a good player, as we saw in the first game. But didn't stand much of a chance with the attempt that he's gone for here, considering the play that I felt to be expected from Dogao. The win condition now is fast stimp on water. That's the win condition. And if you can hold water, because you have more ships, use your fishing ships, and go fast Imperial Age to fully dominate water, there's your chance. That is why he fights on, despite how poor this has looked, and that is his opportunity. Here, Dogao happy to just snipe more fishing ships. And Margougou's navy count is higher than Dogao's. Dogao's sacrificed quite a few fires to kill fish. And meanwhile, his forward docks are still being competitive, still making things awkward, but one's gone down. TC number 2 for Dogao, TC number 3. He has outposted most of the middle. Couple demos go in there. Bam, nice demo hit. Another decent demo hit. Hasn't outposted all of the middle, though, so maybe a transport could happen for Margougou. Here he goes. He did get loom. I think Dogao could have had these TCs up in the middle a whole lot faster here. His eco lead isn't that significant. And again, he didn't outpost every single area, so considering the TCs were laid, considering the 14 fishing ships for Dogao could go down to Margougou's navy, there is still a window for Margougou, despite the awful start here. Oh god, oh god, oh god. TC goes up. Oh god, the scouts found the villagers. Oh god, oh no, oh geez. Oh, tell the other transport to go away. Tell them to come back next week. This area is closed. It's not closed. There's a castle. There's a castle going up. And Dogao's like, wait, I kind of wanted to make a castle. His castle's before me. I didn't see that Margougou was on stone. That's kind of nice. What's the res collected look like right now? That's kind of close. That's like super close, actually. Because I guess, the villagers just never were out in the middle quite yet to really make a resource difference. Castle goes up. Margougou can get gold. Margougou could maybe fast imp. Margougou could potentially make trebs. Dogao is going to drop his own castle here and think about imp himself, though. Still has those fishing ships out on the field. Thought Margougou had the navy. He's got navy everywhere. So important that Dogao made a building somewhere so he could click up, though, instead of having to wait for this castle. So this will be a Trebor where Dogao has a much stronger eco. And Dogao has the potential to have more villagers to repair. Margougou just with 3 on stone. But this is... I gotta give props to Margougou. The start made me want to put my own head through a wall. But I've since... there's some hope. There's some hope for the guy. Like, if you just come to the middle and drop a castle, that the player with eco is going to go fast imp. So it was like castle, imp. That was so important. Because we've seen instances where people just drop a castle and then nothing happens. And here, this 2 HP fire galley is killing the fish for Dogao. So that's value. There's the navy's looped around. Now Dogao still has some relics. Dogao still has the hill. Dogao... has had the fish for longer. Dogao has added farms. Margougou hasn't done that. Like, there's obviously massive downsides. But Margougou is going to make a bunch of monks, hope to make some trebs, and hope to push up that hill. But if he doesn't take out this castle, his monks can't do anything. Because the trebs could just take out all the monasteries. So, taking out the castle for Dogao is hugely important here. Oh, no! No, Samurai, don't switch sides! Don't be a traitor! Don't be a traitor, Samurai. Don't do it. You got this. He's micring the Samurai. Okay, Samurai's dead. Fire's looping around. I don't think you have the resources to really invest into fast fire ship. You've already kind of won water. Like, Dogao is pretty much just going to shift all of his focus towards land. And Dogao hits imp. There's the first trap. There's the first trap for Margougou. There's another castle for Dogao. And Dogao's got all this eco over here still, right? And Dogao is researching chemistry, and his civilization does get bombard cannon. So with the siege workshop, Dogao could think about that. Dogao may be a little bit paranoid, because that imp time is something else. He's like, let's make sure Margougou doesn't get anywhere else on the island. There's the first treb for Margougou. At the limit with resources, though. Also, we'll be trebbing uphill either castle. Great castle spots from Dogao. I think as long as Dogao's repairing his castle, I think Margougou runs out of options here. Like, normally I get excited about Japanese in a treb war, but you can't even afford Katapuruto. To get gold, Margougou just had to sell stone. Like, his eco is so much worse. And there will be trebs coming from both sides. Now, here you've got the monks. But again, if the castles stand, you can't really use the monks to convert trebs. If you could convert trebs from distance, this would be a very different story. And that obviously would be way too broken. You need to stand underneath a trebuchet with redemption to convert it. And now your trebuchets can't even go after Dogao's trebs, or Dogao's castles, because there's going to be more trebs from the opponent. They'll treb on your trebs. And Dogao ties up the series. And, like, Margougou's got to be kicking himself. Like, having watched the other series he played earlier in the day, where he competed a little bit more for map control, took it to Imp. The game was really close, could have potentially won. To see him waltz into the middle with no loom was just wild to me. Like, I'm thinking barracks on the shoreline because there's going to be scouts out there. He's like, middle of the island, no loom. Well played from Dogao, though. Everything was really clean from Dogao. Dogao killed so many fishing ships from Margougou, expanded into the TCs, and got the castle up. Score is 1-1. Next game is extremely important for Margougou's chances at survival. If Margougou loses the next game to Dogao, I think... let's actually look at it real quick. Gonna have to refresh this. My apologies. I think if Margougou loses the next game, Draken could knock out Margougou with a 2-1 versus Dogao. Let's see. For B, ACCM won 2-1 versus Margou. It's going to refresh. Okay. So live standings, Dogao, Margougou, order doesn't matter. All right. So, yes. So let's say Dogao wins this next game. Then Draken can win 2 games and tie Margougou and win the tiebreak. That is not a situation that would make me feel very comfortable if I was Margougou. So you got to go for the win here, right? And then Draken needs a 3-0 versus Dogao. And then again, like here, if Margougou wins this, then that's actually a lock for him. Wait, is it? Is he locked into 4th regardless? Oh, wait a second. And then it... Huh? Oh, wait. Oh, but then... Okay, so if that happens, then Draken doesn't need a 3-0 to pass into 4th place anymore. Draken would actually 3-0 and go 3rd place, and Dogao would be relegated. Oh. I was confused. Okay, because I knew Draken with the 3-0 would be over Margougou there. But yes, these are the standings right now. So actually, with the live standings, ACCM is just guaranteed first. Congratulations, ACCM. I'm sure you're very pumped about that. But let's see what happens in Game 3. Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Socotra. We're behind. It's going to be very, very lamey, and Margougou's already got the elephant from Dogao. Dogao didn't find his elephant, and Dogao could be in a real pickle without that elephant. This is Margougou's home map. And Dogao scouting the back of his base first. Did he not see the elephant? I don't think he saw the elephant. Margougou loves to lame. He picked Lithuanian so he could bring the villagers forward. And he's lamed Dogao's elephant. He's also trying to bring in his elephant at the same time so Dogao doesn't take it from him. There's one elephant on this map. And Margougou, for each player that is. And Margougou has somehow got both of them. I think Dogao must realize it as well. And yes, as the TC fired, he could look under there and see all the elephant meat. What a start for Margougou here. So, you know, I've always said with Socotra, like, the very first thing you have to do is try and take your elephant. Wow. Are you kidding me, Margougou? Like, do you really even want to lame that one? It's underneath your opponent's TC. And Dogao wasn't able to find the elephant. He is going to find Margougou's villager, though. And quick walls. Margougou dead. Margougou loses the vill. Let me go back for a second because I think things are going to settle down. All Margougou's going to do is push in his ostrich real quick. I just want to see. Did Dogao just miss it? That's actually so unfortunate. Look, he's looking. He's looking around. It's right there. And he just missed it by half a tile. I'm sure he would have taken it. But yeah, he lost his sheep. I guess we could say, like, maybe not scouting the front of your base is the issue there. But, it's just unfortunate. And, like, some people love this aspect of Socotra. Some people hate it. It's just Socotra, man. Like, players are so close together and there's one elephant and that can happen. That's why Margougou brought his in immediately afterwards. He wasn't taking any risks. So, Dogao now, knowing the deer is here, just wants to kill it out here, get some type of laming in himself. And let's see how wild this gets from here. Will be tough, I think, to make it to the next stage if you are Dogao without that elephant. Especially since you've got 2 of your villagers running around right now. But, you know, if your opponent has 4 villagers running around, I suppose it could end up being good for you. And Margougou lost the scout, which could be awkward. Dogao is going to attack here with the scout and try and get away with this villager. Dogao loses the villager, so it's 1-1 on the Eco KD. And behind all this at home, Dogao still has some goats, but it's looking pretty messy. Dogao needs to remember a house, and he will. Oh my god! Margougou just walled in the scout. Wait, what? Huh? Margougou's just playing amazing here. Okay, so Margougou's like, where'd the scout go? Oh, the scout's there? Dogao probably clicked it somewhere. Boink! Scout's now trapped in, so they basically both don't have a scout. Dogao's just going to attack that palisade. You sit there and you think about what you've done there, Scout, for not finding that elephant. So craziness from Margougou. And Feudal Age is going to be important. Can we even see Feudal Age for Dogao at this point with how this is played out? Margougou is actually just taking the ostrich. He's just like, give me the food. Again, I said it earlier in the day, like having played Margougou in Masters of Socotra before, he loves to Vil fight. And he picked Lithuanians first in his draft solely because the extra food means he could send more villagers forward. And, you know, you kind of need this food if you're Dogao. You also kind of need your villagers working, so he's been pulled away. This would be a big win for Margougou and his chances for survival. He would not be completely safe based on, you know, winning this game if he were to win it. But it would mean that Draken would need to get a 3-0 victory versus Dogao, which would then mean if Draken gets that 3-0 victory, Dogao would actually be relegated, which just adds to the craziness. Many people, including myself, said Dogao was the favorite today. The first game, Margougou destroyed him. And he's looking to respond here after a pretty lackluster migration game. Again, the thought process is, I have food and you don't. Vil War benefits me. And a villager goes down for Dogao. And more villagers are coming forward for Margougou. The Vil fights continue. Dogao is not this type of player, man. Look at this. Weak villager pulled away. And Dogao can't take his berries. That's the whole strat. It's like, I could take my berries. I have goats. You don't. And a new shipment of villagers coming forward. Great job from Margougou to save the weak villagers, though. It's not easy. Wait until he runs into a lion, though. Thank God he didn't run into the lion with the weak villager. Welcome to Socotra. Welcome to Socotra, guys. Vil War. Woo! Dogao needs to farm. You just need to farm, and you need to save your weak vills. Guys, this used to happen. He also picked Poles, and Poles used to regen with their village HP in Dark Age. Socotra is the reason that got changed to Feudal Age. Socotra is also the reason Berbers got their Vil speed got changed. Another villager dead for Dogao. Just the villagers. And he looks for revenge. Could get a lot of revenge here. Oh, God. Where's my boxing glove mod? Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, wait. Margougou loses another Vil. Okay. Vil fighting. Dogao's done a much better job the last couple moments. Gets another kill. Loses one as well. I mean, it's an even game, guys. It's an even game. Villager v. villager. Who shall win? Dogao loses a villager. Margougou going to lose a villager. This is thrilling stuff. This is why you showed up here today. Margougou loses a villager. Dogao loses a villager. Guys, can't we just agree not to kill each other and just live in peace? Just live in peace. It's 8-8. How about it be 0-0 and no one else has to die? All right? Just agree from the start that this is not acceptable. Well, Vills are military. You could definitely tell they both like kind of got tired. There's just like, I can't save the weak Vills anymore, actually. But I mean, impressive from both of them. They're producing new villagers all the time. And Dogao's got, 8 farms. He's outnumbered now. But I mean, the difference for me is that Margougou had the elephants. And then Margougou had, as he continues to wall this scout in, Margougou's had his berries. Look at the HP. I can't wait until there's archers or something. It's actually going to be tragic if anyone can get to archers here. And it might be Margougou because Margougou's clicked up. Okay. Yeah, Margougou's game plan, you might not like it. Right? A lot of people might not believe this is beautiful Age of Empires, but it's about efficiency. It's about wins. Every win matters, people. $40 per win. This is a $40 boxing match right now. $40 per win, but then the overall standings, which obviously means the potential for playoffs. And doink! Got him! And she gets killed as well. That was beautiful. Oh my god, I want to see... It would be so funny to me if Dogao sees these weak vills and just goes around one-shotting. He sees them! He sees it. That's so funny. Yeah, no berries for you. And then you have to click your weak villagers to farms and get the strong villagers to berries. I think Dogao is going to check the wood line. This is actually so smart. He's walking around looking for weak vills. I was not actually expecting someone to do this. Okay. Dogao's up. Dogao's not dead. He'll be up way later, but he's not dead. He can have a safe gold if he walls. There is a hole here, which he has scouted. He has farming eco, so he doesn't need berries. He wants to save his scout. The scout would be such a sick save. Margougou, wall it in. You should be walling this, Margougou. You have the talent. Boom, boom, boom. Nope, Dogao says no. Boom, no. Wheelbarrow, anybody, for faster villagers? Feels like it would make some sense. There's the barracks for Margougou. He still didn't make a range or a stable yet. And there's the range, and the scout's just been killed by the villagers. Dogao's villager, pretty smart, actually. Kept Margougou distracted. Let's see, res collected. What? Dogao's had more food because of the farms. 5 farms against 10 farms. Holy crap. And there's only 1 bush left against, like, I don't know, 2.5 bush. Dogao's villager will also see the range. And probably needs to run away. That's actually a fast Lithuanian spearman. Dogao's going to have to be really careful with his villagers here. He actually tried to wall in the spearman there. Margougou is not going to let this get away. The villager is slower than the spear and the skirm, and Margougou is just going to block because he's a nerd. And, well done. All right. We now have a somewhat normal game. Archer range for Dogao. Let me check the Vill HP on his villagers. 793 HP out of 1,080 against 892 HP against 1,230. So is there like a percentage attached to it? There's not, but there's just weak vills. That's the point. Margougou wants to find damage, but he will run into walls. Is he fletching for Dogao? That is a weak villager on a farm. Dogao really badly housed. These types of games have a way of melting your brain. Every game I played against Margougou and Masters of Socotra, 10 villagers forward. He went Lithuanians, he went Mayans. It was like Eagle, villagers, Scout, villagers. It sucked. Dogao's not going to be able to go to Castle Age. He looked like he would have had the resources there. We have a pause now. I was thinking the same thing. Maybe like Castle Age and Siege would be good. But this is a pause. which I hope they come back from here in a second. I'm sure they will. If they're paused for like 10 more seconds, I'll tab out and see what they're up to in the Discord. I know Dogao had internet issues earlier because apparently there's a lot of storms where he lives right now. I mean, Dogao could have considered Fast Castle there because what is he making? He's making archers against skirms. It feels like it would have maybe made sense to just try and use the market a bit and click up to castle to get to siege. One sec. Just going to check. I haven't seen any messages from them. We won't see any words from them in game until they unpause. And they have just done so. I mean, I'll tell you what Margougou needs to do here. Actually, a tower here would be really smart if that's what he's considering. But I was just thinking, like, just outpost or full wall. That way, Dogao can never sneak archers. Because if Dogao were to get 2 archers into your woodline, he could kill, like, 6 vills. This is amazing. Look at all the weak villagers here. This tower is incredible from Margougou. And also, all of Dogao's stones are here, right? So Margougou with this map control, he's in the perfect spot right now. I don't see what Dogao's supposed to do. Not to, like, counterattack. He can't really counterattack. He can't really defend that easily. And Margougou, did he know about that? Oh, he doesn't know about the gold, but that if he just towered here, he would have the perfect tower now because Dogao made his one and only tower in this location. Wow, what a spot. What a spot. To not know that gold is there, well, he sees it now. Obviously, maybe Dogao could have done a little bit more to lock this down. This is what happens when he has no map control. And he's going to rush this down. This is going to be disastrous for Dogao. There's even weak villagers here, guys. The archers won't accomplish anything for him. This is going to be GG, possibly. I think all Margougou does is fights with half the vills and repairs with half the vills. There's just no chance. What is Dogao doing? Does he feel like he has no other way out? The skirms are going to wreck. Yeah, you do not take this tower out. Not with proper repairs and proper vill micro, which we know Margougou has. Draken is screaming somewhere. So upset to see this because he really wants to survive. And, well, villagers going down. Margougou with a massive eco lead now. And Dogao with a civilization that gets the mining upgrades for free. Doesn't have easy access to gold. Could Castle Age have maybe been an option there for Dogao? Kind of feels unnatural. It felt unnatural. But against the pressure that Margougou had, maybe it would have been the play. Full credit to Margougou for the constant aggression this entire game. Dogao comes over here to mine stone. Which I think is something Margougou has to think about. Like right now, he's like, I got this protected. Let's check this side. And look how fast the trash units are. Zoom! Exposed villagers. Yeah, the skirms and spears are too speedy. It's not a vill war anymore. Well, I mean, it is for one person. It's vills against trash. You just... Good luck against Margougou. He's just going to dance around you all day, Dogao. I don't know what more he does. Except buy time for a tower here and then hope to get to Castle Age or something. Margougou's played this perfectly. Armor for the spearman. Whoa. So he's really going at it now. Well, he'll probably bring his vills to tower this in a second. Dogao having to try and out micro here when he's down in numbers. And armor for spearman's not something you see every day, but it kind of makes sense with the way that this game is playing out. Eco KD is about to be 20-19 for Margougou. And he's just got better control of everything now as he towers this. Now Dogao could try and rush this tower down because it's rather weak and not walled in, but even still, it just seems like it's just not going to be an easy way back. Like there's Socotra is not really a comeback map, at least when there's this super high aggression. It's like the high aggression works really well, or the high aggression does not work. And Dogao just, you see his villager go down immediately because they're weak from earlier in the boxing match. He's trying what he can. He's going to rush this down. He's going to lose another villager, though. And, yep, this is the same thing Margougou did last time. Couple Vill Wars against the villagers underneath the tower. Then he full garrisons. Margougou needs to breathe, deep breaths. Realize he's done enough. Defensive tower if you need to. Yeah, just another tower to hold this area makes sense. Give this one up and just go Castle Age. You've done more than enough to win this game now. And Dogao obviously forced into a position to fight all the time. Pressure all the time, but he just can't really engage against that tower. Margougou on gold now. Margougou with 17 on food. Margougou's food count climbing. Dogao nowhere close to clicking up the Castle Age. It feels like Margougou, if he would have set out for a game plan here, he would have said, I take the elephant, I Vill War in feudal, I pressure then in feudal with towers and skirms. Kill 24 villagers. Yeah. And, you know, the sad thing is really is that it could be better, right? Like, this could have been walled in, but it's hard to focus on that, guys, when you're also macroing and just moving over to this location. So, yes, maybe this should have been walled in, but that's a lot of work. It does feel like even if Dogao gets access to those resources again, that Dogao's completely screwed. There goes Margougou on the way to the next stage. I can't wait to look at the standings again after this. I mean, we looked at it between the games. Waiting to see if there will be a stable for Margougou now. And stable would make sense to run underneath the towers with knights. We could even see him buying stone. I think he wants to go for a castle and go for Latis. Like maybe here on this hill as he makes another tower. You're going to want a stable anyways for bloodlines. So I think making a stable for a knight or two into a castle drop is good. But yeah, there's just not much Dogao could have done. Like, he picked Bohemians so he could mine gold faster and use the market. That's what he did. And Dogao was never really able to have a normal type of game. Now, I think, hindsight being 2020, Inca's here for the Eagle. Because, like, the Eagle's really helpful in Vill Wars. So I think, like, Inca's for Socotra. Like, maybe Chinese. He drafted Chinese for graveyards. That would have made more sense to me. But, you know, Dogao had certain outlooks on how he wanted to play this series. Obviously, it worked for game number 2. And it was important he got the win in game number 2. It's now obviously very important that he got some of the wins in those earlier rounds, right? But yeah, Dogao hasn't even clicked up yet. He has no way to stop this castle. Perfect Socotra play from Margougou, who came out confident today, guys. He was happy to play Graveyards game 1 against a really good player. He then just went to town with aggression the entirety of this game on his home map. And yeah, I mean, the castle's going to go up. The tower's going to get shot down. Latis is going to come out. And Dogao just calls to GG. Not really the closest game. Margougou made sure of that. And Margougou wins 2-1. So we have one more series. And that will be Dogao and Draken. That is the last series of this group. Last series of group stage. I think this means if Draken 3-0s, that he relegates Dogao and saves himself. Can we look at this? Let's see. Margougou wins. Does that mean Margougou is 100% safe? Okay, Margougou's 4th regardless. So Margougou is alive and platinum for the next season. Congratulations. That's a big result. Congratulations, Margougou. Seriously. Because to have there be no doubt is probably a relief for him. Dogao, what in the world? He'll either be 2nd, 3rd, or 5th. Playoffs or relegation. And obviously, it's going to be playoffs or relegation for Draken. So, yeah, I think the result that Dogao needs to avoid is a 3-0 for Draken. Let's see. That's 2 wins for Draken. And yes, Draken would be on 6. Draken would need to get 3. Draken would then tie Margougou and Dogao with that result. And then he would beat both with a tiebreak, actually, which would be the head-to-head, because Draken beat Margougou, and then obviously would beat Dogao in this hypothetical situation. So, Margougou's safe. Margougou will not be in the playoffs. Dogao needs 1 win from the next series to go playoffs, and we're going to be in that series here soon. But as it stands, after that result, it is 11 wins for ACCM, guaranteed first. Veleza either second or third, depending on Dogao. And then, 7 wins. Dogao needs 1 more win to go third or second. And then Margougou in 4th place, Draken Miguel sitting in the relegation zone.